Hi there, my name is Rob Collier, and I am the founder of California Drivers Advocates. Today, I want to discuss with you what the potential consequences are of on your driving privilege if you have suffered a lapse of consciousness. The California Vehicle Code empowers the California Department of Motor Vehicles to withdraw the driving privilege of any person who has suffered a lapse of consciousness or control. And it's important to note that the event does not have to occur while driving. In other words, if you are out on a bright sandy beach and you end up fainting because of dehydration and you go to the hospital, that is a potential reason for the DMV to suspend your driver's license, even though you were nowhere near an automobile. Because the conventional thinking is if you faint on the beach, you could potentially faint behind the wheel of a car. So we need to focus on how the DMV views this, and the definition or the language of this is important. The DMV will suspend or revoke a driving privilege for a lapse of consciousness or control. So where a lapse of consciousness normally connotates that a person has lost consciousness, you also can have your driving privilege suspended or revoked if you lose the control of your body. So you don't necessarily have to completely lose consciousness to lose control of your body. For instance, a person who has petit mal seizures may be very much conscious and awake and be able to respond, but a seizure is a seizure, and that may mean that they've lost control of their motor functions for a period of time, and that is a concern for the DMV. Some of the medical disorders that fall under this category are epilepsy and seizure disorders, cardiovascular problems. If you have arrhythmia or tachycardia, that can cause a person to have dizziness, shortness of breath, and faint. Brain tumors, syncope, which is simply fainting. If you stand up from your bed too quickly and your blood rushes to your feet and you faint, that is a lapse of consciousness. Sleep apnea can be problematic. Narcolepsy, diabetes, dementia. There's any number of things that can cause a person to suffer some type of a lapse of consciousness or control. And you need to understand also that all medical professionals in California are required by law to report a lapse of consciousness or control or any other medical disorder that could affect driving to the County Department of Public Health. And then in turn, the Department of Public Health will then turn that information over to the Department of Motor Vehicles, and very often that then results in a suspension or revocation of the driving privilege. So again, this is an example of California law inserting itself into the relationship between a physician and their patients, where now doctors, in other words, to protect their own medical licenses, must report a person to the DMV, even if they would prefer not to. So it's really not the doctor's fault. They're doing what they're required to by law. So if this is happening to you, if you've received an order of suspension or revocation because the DMV has learned that you've suffered a lapse of consciousness or control, you should make no mistake. This is not the DMV shooting, a warning shot over your bow. They're not telling you that they may take an action against you. They are actually doing it. The process has already begun. So you need to respond very quickly to protect your driving privilege. So again, if this is happening to you, research us on the web, give us a call. We'll be happy to help you.